This is Attack of the Mutant Camels by Jeff Minter. A nice cartridge. It has a screw on the back so you can't stack it, but if you have a flat surface, you can spin it like a top. This is a 1983 release by Hessware, and confusingly, the game inside is what came out overseas as Matrix Grid Runner 2. And to mix things up even more, there actually is an overseas Attack of the Mutant Camels as well, which plays completely differently. Well, let's start the game here and see what it's all about. So at first glance it looks like some kind of a Centipede clone, but as you play it, it becomes apparent that the game has a few tricks up its sleeve. So first, the basic rules of Centipede. There's a centipede coming down the screen, and when you blast it, it leaves behind in Centipede a mushroom, and the next piece that hits it turns around and goes the opposite direction, so you have to kind of be careful how you shoot at it. Now the first twist on that in this game is that it doesn't leave behind mushrooms, which are inert. It leaves behind bombs, which, when they go off, fire a shot straight down the screen. Adding to that, there are these scanners on the left and bottom of the screen that behave a bit like the zappers in Cosmic Arc if you've ever played that game. There are some other neat additions, such as this guy who walks across the top of the screen, and when he sees you, waves at the scanners to come and get you, so you can't stay in the same place for too long. It also adds these camel waves where your score ticks down, so you have to keep blasting enemies to keep it from going all the way to 0. And finally, it adds these reflectors in some levels which reflect shots, and you can aim them at different angles when you shoot them. So Attack of the Mutant Camels, or Matrix as it's known elsewhere, has some neat surprises for the jaded Centipede fan. The game is fast, fluid, and intense, as a classic arcade game should be, and I'm sure at the time it really offered the most manic experience you could have on your Commodore. But I did have a few issues with Attack of the Mutant Camels. For one, your ship moves one tile at a time. You can't slide it, say, a half tile over. And the game is so fast that I found it very difficult to slide my ship a single tile to the left or right. And this was a constant source of frustration for me when playing Attack of the Mutant Camels. And it could be just me, but I had a harder time with the second zone in this game than many of the other levels. So it's quite a fun game, but it's not exactly flawless. If you find it on the cheap, or if you just love Jeff Minter games like I do, it's worth picking up. But there are a few games I'd recommend ahead of this one. If you're looking for similar action on your Commodore, I'd really recommend Red Runner and Green Runner. Sure, they're 30 years later and takes direct inspiration from Grid Runner, including the name. I think they play a bit smoother and have more variety to offer. There's also a modern iteration of Grid Runner on iOS and Android systems. It's by Jeff Minter himself and plays very smoothly. There's also a really souped up version called Grid Runner Plus+, which appears to still be available on the Llamasoft website. But no matter which version you play, you're in for a treat, especially if you like Centipede. Thanks for watching Cool and Unusual Games. Subscribe for more reviews, and I'll catch you next time.